There comes a moment in life when no teacher is standing in front of you, no classroom bell is ringing, and no one is forcing you to open a book. It is just you, a quiet room, and a decision. Self-study begins exactly there, in silence, in discipline, and in the uncomfortable truth that your future depends on what you do when nobody is watching. Most people want results, but very few respect the process. They admire success, but they ignore the lonely hours behind it. Self-study is not glamorous. It does not come with applause. It does not give instant rewards, but it is one of the most powerful forms of self-respect. When you choose to study on your own, you are telling the world that your growth matters, even if no one claps for it today. There will be days when motivation disappears, days when the mind feels heavy, the body feels tired, and distractions feel louder than your goals. In those moments, discipline becomes more important than inspiration. Discipline is choosing your future over your comfort. Discipline is opening the book even when your mind begs for escape. And every time you do that, you strengthen something inside you that cannot be taught: mental toughness. Self-study teaches you patience. It teaches you how to sit with confusion without quitting. How to read something twice, 3 times until it finally makes sense. How to fail quietly and try again without embarrassment. This is where real learning happens, not in perfect understanding, but in persistence. Each struggle builds confidence. Each solved problem becomes proof that you are capable of more than you thought. You will feel alone sometimes. While others are out enjoying comfort, scrolling endlessly, or sleeping without worry, you are choosing effort. That loneliness is not punishment, it is preparation. Every hour you invest now saves you years of regret later. Every sacrifice you make today becomes freedom tomorrow. Self-study forces you to confront yourself, your excuses, your habits, your limits. You begin to realize that no one is coming to rescue you. No one is responsible for your focus except you. And this realization is not depressing, it is empowering. Because once you accept full responsibility for your learning, you unlock full control over your future. Progress in self-study is slow at first, it feels invisible. You read, you practice, you revise, and still feel behind. This is the most dangerous stage, where many quit, but growth is happening quietly. Knowledge is stacking, understanding is deepening, the mind is rewiring. Just because you cannot see immediate results does not mean nothing is changing. Consistency matters more than intensity. Studying for 1 hour every day is more powerful than studying for 10 hours once a week. Small efforts, repeated daily, create unstoppable momentum. Self-study is not about burning yourself out. It is about showing up again and again, even when progress feels small. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when you question if this effort is worth it, when you compare yourself to others and feel behind. Remember, this comparison kills focus. Everyone has a different starting point, a different pace, a different journey. Your only competition is the version of you who quits. Self-study is an act of belief. Belief that your time matters. Belief that your mind is capable of growth. Belief that your future is worth the struggle. Every page you read, every concept you master, every skill you develop is a brick in the foundation of your independence. You may not realize it now, but self-study changes how you think. You become more disciplined, more patient, more confident in your ability to learn anything. You stop fearing challenges because you have trained yourself to face difficulty head on. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on commitment. There will be days when progress feels slow and nights when exhaustion whispers that it is okay to quit. In those moments, remember why you started. Remember the version of yourself who dreamed of more freedom, more confidence, more control over life. That version of you is counting on what you do today. Self-study is not just about exams, grades, or skills. It is about building a mindset that refuses to stay stuck, a mindset that seeks understanding instead of shortcuts, a mindset that values growth over comfort. This mindset will serve you long after the books are closed. One day the results will show. Quietly, unexpectedly. You will understand things faster. You will think more clearly. You will feel more confident in rooms where you once felt small, and people will ask how you did it. They will not see the nights you studied alone, the frustration you pushed through, the discipline you built when no one was watching. That is the power of self-study. It transforms you from the inside first. It builds a version of you that does not depend on motivation, validation, or external pressure, a version of you that knows how to sit with difficulty and keep going. So when it feels hard, remember this: every focused hour is an investment. Every sacrifice is temporary. Every page you turn is proof that you are choosing growth over comfort. Stay consistent, stay patient, stay disciplined. Because the future you want is not built in moments of motivation. It is built in moments of self-study. When no one is watching, when it is hard, when it matters the most. Self-study is not just about books, notes, or exams. It is about what happens inside you when nobody is clapping, nobody is checking, and nobody is reminding you why you started. It is about sitting alone with your thoughts and still choosing effort over escape. Most people never talk about this side because it's uncomfortable, because it exposes how weak discipline feels at the beginning and how strong excuses can sound when you are tired. But this is exactly where real transformation begins. There will be nights when your room feels too small for your dreams, when the walls feel closer than usual, when the silence feels loud. On those nights, you will question everything: your goals, your intelligence, your future. You will wonder if you are wasting time while the world moves forward without you. You will feel behind, even when you are working. This feeling is not failure. This feeling is growth happening quietly. Nobody warns you that self-study requires emotional strength more than mental ability. You can be smart and still quit. You can be talented and still stop. What keeps you going is not how fast you understand, but how often you return after wanting to give up. Every time you sit back down after distraction, you are training a muscle most people never develop. The muscle of self-control. In 2026, distraction will not knock politely. It will attack aggressively. Notifications, comparisons, trends, opinions, noise everywhere. Everyone will look like they are winning. Everyone will post results, not process. You will scroll and feel smaller. You will question your pace. You will feel pressure to rush. But deep progress does not rush. It compounds slowly, invisibly, powerfully. Self-study teaches you patience in a world addicted to speed. It teaches you to delay pleasure when everything around you says consume now. And every time you choose study over scrolling, you are not just learning content. You are choosing your future over your impulses. That choice shapes character. Some days you will not feel motivated at all. You will open a book and feel nothing. No excitement, no inspiration, just resistance. Those days matter more than the good days, because motivation is temporary, but identity is permanent. When you study, even when you don't feel like it, you are becoming someone who does not depend on feelings to move forward. There will be moments when you feel stupid, when a concept doesn't make sense, when you read the same page again and again, when you watch others understand faster. Do not confuse slow understanding with lack of ability. Some minds are deep, not fast. Deep minds take time, but when they understand, they never forget. Trust your process. You are not competing with people who started earlier. You are not racing against people with more resources. You are building a version of yourself that did not exist before. That takes time. That takes sacrifice. That takes uncomfortable honesty. Self-study is lonely because it forces you to face yourself without distraction. You see your habits clearly. You see how easily you give up. You see how often you lie to yourself. And you also see something else if you stay long enough. You see resilience forming. You see confidence growing quietly. You see discipline becoming natural. Nobody sees the nights you choose to stay in. Nobody sees the weekends you sacrifice. Nobody sees the boredom you push through. But one day, people will see the results and call it luck. Let them. You will know the truth. There will be times when your environment does not support you, when your room is noisy, when your space is limited, when your responsibilities are heavy. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions never arrive. Progress belongs to those who adapt, not those who wait. Studying alone teaches you self-respect. It teaches you that your future is worth effort, even when nobody else believes in it yet. That belief, once built, becomes unshakable. There will be setbacks, days lost to procrastination, weeks where nothing seems to stick, moments when you feel like quitting entirely. These moments do not erase your progress. They test your commitment. What matters is not how many times you fall behind, but how quickly you return. Every return builds strength. Every restart sharpens focus. Every decision to continue rewires your brain toward discipline. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are human. Rest when needed, but do not quit. Rest is part of the process. Quitting is not. Self-study changes the way you see the world. You become more selective, more intentional. You stop reacting to everything. You start responding thoughtfully. You stop chasing validation. You start chasing mastery. One day, the knowledge you struggle to understand will feel simple. The discipline you forced will feel natural. The loneliness you endured will feel necessary. You will look back and realize that the hardest part was not the studying. It was believing in yourself before results appeared. If you feel invisible right now, remember this: seeds grow in darkness. No one claps for roots, but without roots, nothing stands. Your future self is watching you, not with pressure, with gratitude. Grateful that you didn't quit. Grateful that you stayed consistent when it was boring. Grateful that you chose long-term growth over short-term comfort. This journey is shaping you in ways you cannot measure yet. It is giving you mental endurance, emotional control, focus in chaos. These skills will matter more than grades, more than certificates, more than titles. Keep going even when progress feels slow. Slow progress is still progress. Invisible progress is still progress. You are not preparing for an exam. You are preparing for a life that demands discipline, clarity, and strength. And one day, when pressure comes, when responsibility hits, when life tests you, you will not panic, because you trained alone, in silence, without applause. That is power. That is self-study. Self-study continues to test you in ways no classroom ever will. There is no bell to start, no bell to stop, no teacher watching, no friend asking if you finished the work. There is only you and the decision you make every single day. Most people underestimate how heavy that responsibility feels. Freedom sounds attractive until you realize it demands discipline. And discipline is something no one gives you. You either build it or you suffer without it. There will be mornings when you wake up already tired, not physically but mentally. The kind of tired that comes from thinking too much about the future, about money, about expectations, about whether all this effort will actually lead somewhere. On those mornings, studying feels pointless. Your mind searches for comfort instead of progress. And that is the moment where growth quietly asks you a question. Will you choose comfort again, or will you choose yourself? Self-study teaches you to answer that question honestly. Again and again, there will be days when you feel behind in life, when you see others celebrating milestones while you are still stuck at the starting line. You will compare timelines, ages, achievements. You will wonder if you missed your chance. But growth does not follow a single schedule. Some people bloom early and fade. Others grow slowly and last. You are not late. You are building depth. Studying alone builds something rare, the ability to stay focused without external pressure. This skill is more valuable than talent. Talent opens doors, but discipline keeps them open. And discipline is born in moments of boredom, repetition, and resistance. No one talks about how lonely self-study can feel. When you cancel plans, when you say no to distractions, when you choose silence over noise. People may not understand. Some may mock you. Some may doubt you. But solitude is not weakness. It is a training ground. Every hour you spend learning, instead of escaping, is a vote for the person you want to become. Even when progress feels invisible, something is happening inside you. Your brain is adapting. Your patience is expanding. Your confidence is forming quietly. There will be days when nothing makes sense, when concepts blur together, when effort feels wasted. Those are the days most people quit, not because they are incapable, but because they are uncomfortable with uncertainty. Stay. Confusion is a sign that your mind is stretching beyond familiar limits. Self-study teaches humility. It shows you how much you don't know, but it also shows you how much you can learn if you stay consistent. Knowledge does not rush. It reveals itself to those who return daily. Sometimes you will feel unmotivated because results are delayed. You will wonder why you are sacrificing so much without visible reward. Remember this, delayed results are not denial. They are preparation. Your future will demand skills you are quietly developing right now. Focus, self-control, emotional regulation, independent thinking. These are not taught loudly. They are built silently. When you study alone, you learn to manage your own emotions, frustration, self-doubt, impatience, fear. You stop running from them and start working through them. That ability will save you later in life. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are human. What matters is that you do not let overwhelm become an excuse to stop. Take breaks when needed. Breathe, reset, then return. Every return strengthens your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. Self-study changes the way you respect time. You stop wasting it mindlessly. You start protecting it. You realize time is not just hours passing. It is life being spent. There will be nights when you question your intelligence, when you think others are smarter, faster, better. Intelligence is not fixed. It is built through effort, through mistakes, through repetition. Do not quit just because learning feels slow. Slow learning creates strong foundations. One day, the discipline you struggle to build will feel natural. You will sit down without resistance. You will focus without force, and you will realize that the hardest phase was the beginning. Most people never reach that phase because they quit too early. Self-study is not about proving anything to others. It is about keeping promises to yourself. And every promise you keep builds self-trust. Self-trust changes everything. When life gets harder, you will not panic, because you trained yourself to stay calm under mental pressure. You trained yourself to continue without motivation. You trained yourself to rely on effort, not mood. That is power. Your environment may not be perfect. Your room may be small. Your resources limited. Your responsibilities heavy. None of that disqualifies you. Progress belongs to those who persist, not those who wait for ideal conditions. You are building something internal that no one can take away. One day when opportunities come, you will be ready. Not because you were lucky, but because you prepared quietly when no one was watching. This journey is shaping your character more than your resume. And that will matter more than you realize. Keep going, even when it feels pointless. Especially when it feels pointless. Because the days that test you the most are the days that change you the most. And one day, you will thank yourself for not quitting. There comes a stage in self-study where the problem is no longer understanding the material. The real struggle becomes staying consistent when nothing feels urgent. When there is no deadline chasing you, no exam tomorrow, no pressure forcing you to move. This is where most people slowly drift away. Not because they failed, but because they stopped showing up. Discipline is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel dramatic. It feels ordinary, boring, repetitive. And yet it is the most powerful force shaping your future right now. There will be weeks where progress feels invisible. You will study, revise, practice, and still feel like you are standing in the same place. This illusion is dangerous because growth does not show itself daily. It reveals itself suddenly after long periods of silence. like strength in the gym, like savings in a bank account, like confidence built through repetition. Self-study teaches delayed gratification at a level few experiences do. You are planting seeds today for outcomes you cannot yet see. That requires faith. Faith in effort, faith in time, faith in yourself. Some days your mind will try to negotiate with you. It will suggest shortcuts. It will say, just today skip it. Just today rest more. Just today delay. These small negotiations destroy long-term goals. Discipline is not about being harshed. It is about being honest. Honest about where shortcuts lead. You will notice something important if you stay long enough. The version of you that avoids studying is not lazy. It is afraid. Afraid of failing. Afraid of trying hard and still not succeeding. Afraid of finding out your limits. Self-study forces you to face that fear instead of running from it. And every time you sit down anyway, that fear loses power. You are training your mind to stay present even when it wants to escape. That skill will serve you far beyond academics, in relationships, in work, in crisis, in pressure. Self-study builds internal leadership. You learn to give yourself instructions and follow them. You learn to correct yourself without self-hate. You learn to push without breaking. There will be moments when your motivation disappears completely. Zero energy, zero excitement, zero desire. On those days, reduce the task. Do something small. Open the book. Read one page. Write one line. Momentum is born from movement, not motivation. Do not underestimate small actions done consistently. They reshape identity. Over time, you will notice that distractions lose their grip. You won't need constant stimulation. Silence will stop feeling uncomfortable. Focus will stop feeling forced. This is mental maturity. You will also notice emotional growth. You will stop panicking when things are unclear. You will stop quitting when things get hard. You will trust yourself more. Self-study changes how you respond to difficulty. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond strategically. You break problems down. You stay calm. You persist. That calm persistence is rare. People will assume you are naturally disciplined. They will not see the years you trained yourself to show up without feeling like it. They will not see the nights you fought distraction, the mornings you started tired, the days you doubted everything. Let them assume you are not studying to impress people. You are studying to become capable. There will be times when you feel isolated, when no one understands why you are working this hard, when you feel disconnected from others. Remember this: isolation with purpose is temporary. Regret lasts longer. Self-study teaches you to value long-term peace over short-term pleasure. Eventually, effort becomes identity. You no longer ask if you should study, you just do. That shift is powerful. Your standards rise quietly. You tolerate less chaos, less wasted time, less self-sabotage. You become someone who finishes what they start. That version of you is being built right now, not loudly, not quickly, but permanently. Every disciplined hour is shaping your future nervous system, your stress tolerance, your decision-making ability. One day when life demands consistency under pressure, you will not panic, because you trained for this in silence. You trained yourself to sit with discomfort. You trained yourself to stay focused when it was boring. You trained yourself to continue without applause. This is not just studying. This is self-mastery, and self-mastery changes everything. Keep going, even when no one notices, even when it feels repetitive, even when results are delayed, because the person you are becoming is worth the effort.